evening, everyone. Welcome back on this very cold, wet and windy Monday evening. Thank you so much for joining me for what is the third or fourth time today. I'm not even sure, but tonight it's just one of those old-fashioned streams where it's just me and you. I'm going to go through the day's events and tell you about the experience of today in court and what I found and how everything went. But before we do that, I have a very special guest that's going to join us just for a couple of minutes. They have another commitment this evening. But I have a very special guest, someone that you know that I'm a big supporter of, a big fan of. And this is one of the reasons why. Let me bring in the one and only Ben Habib. Good evening, Ben. Can you hear me, Ben? Hello, Ben. Can you hear me? Just having a little bit of trouble. Can't hear you, Ben, unfortunately. What a shame we can't hear Ben. Ben, if you go on to settings, he's going to nip out and hopefully come back in. But I'm hoping that Ben can come back in. Ben has a message for my viewers this evening. Today was or has been a very long day, a very emotional day, a very difficult day. Let's give Ben another try. Ben, good evening.
Good evening. Sorry about that.
That's all right, my friend. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. How are you?
Well, Ben, it's been a long day. I want to say thank you so much. I know that your appearance on here tonight is going to mean the absolute world to a lot of people. And I thank you most sincerely because I'm just going to say it as it is, Ben. You're a proper man. Yeah, I mean, I know you got something that you want to say tonight. I know you're busy and you've got to be quick, but, you know, feel free to say what you wanted to say.
Well, I just wanted to say that, as I said, really in the two tweets I put out, one yesterday and one today, that, you know, we've got the mother of all battles on our hands at the moment. The United Kingdom is facing the end of its existence as a nation state. I know that sounds hyperbolic. The only reason I'm in politics is because I think the country that we love, which has given us succor, which has protected us, brought us through our lives, the value systems of which we benefit from so greatly, a culture which is so rich, which has given us freedom of speech, diversity of thought, propelled this nation forward, made us a great nation, allowed us to protect the world from the Nazis and so on and so forth. This fantastic nation is facing challenges which will see the end of it if we can't beat those challenges. They're economic, they're cultural, they're constitutional, they're democratic. And the Conservative Party doesn't offer any solutions. The Labour Party is the Conservative Party, but on steroids. Yeah. All the damage that the Conservatives did is going to be magnified and, you know, delivered in much greater quantities by Keir Starmer. He's already done an enormous amount of damage. So those of us who care about this country, those of us who want to stand against the uniparty of the Tories and Labour have to stick together. We are one group. And I don't know Tommy Robinson. I'm not going to venture an opinion on Tommy Robinson. Certainly, I'm not going to throw him under a bus. Absolutely not. But what I do know is that the thousands, tens of thousands of people who congregated in Whitehall on Saturday, I know many of them. I know many people who told me they were there. They are our friends. They are Reform voters. And we need to stand firmly behind them. The idea that by turning up to what was a celebratory rally, flying the flag of the United Kingdom, of St. George, whatever. I think I saw some Northern Irish flags there as well. You know, and Northern Ireland is a part of the United Kingdom that's dear to me because it's been left behind in the European Union.
Yeah, we know.
We're a family, so we just got to stop all this nonsense, and we got to fight together.
Ben, you know, I don't know if you're seeing the comments that are coming through. If you could see the love that is pouring through for you. I mean, look, Ben, we watch you. We watch you on a daily basis on our big screens. Us mere mortals that appear up here on YouTube, we keep all the, you know, we try and keep the people happy. We try and give them the truth. And I've been telling people for weeks and months now that, you know, from what I know of you, from what everyone tells me about you, I've never, ever heard a single bad thing about you, Ben. You're so respected amongst our people, the wonderful people of this country. And,
well,
you know,
I mean, I feel desperate for the country, as do, I'm sure, as I know you do, as I'm sure everyone listening to this program does, as I'm sure everyone who turned up on Saturday does. You know, what binds us is a love of this country and a fear for what's happening to it.
Exactly.
And we've just got to stick together. You know, this is not about party politics. This is about fighting the existential threat that the United Kingdom faces.
Yeah. I'm going to let you go, Ben, because I know that you've got to get off to another a meeting. And I think, where are you this evening?
I hope I'm not conflicting with what you're doing, but I'm going to be on talk radio with Kevin O'Sullivan at 7 o'clock.
Well, Kevin's a fellow Fulham fan, so I'll forgive him for that. I'll leave you with this one, a lovely message. It says, Ben Habib, thank you for being with us at this moment. Ben, thank you so much for coming on tonight. I really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll speak again soon.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Thank you for having me on, and thank you, everyone, for listening.
Have a lovely evening, Ben. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Ben Habib. Now, you guys know how much I've spoken about Ben in the past, how highly I speak about Ben. And I do that for a reason, because he's a man that I truly believe in. And I'll leave it at that. And you guys can make your own minds up. Bluebell says, I would love Ben to be the Prime Minister. Hallelujah. So would I. So let's get into today's. Let me take you right from the start. Shall we take you right from the start? I left home last night. I travelled over to Dartford to stay in probably the worst hotel I've ever stayed in my life. And didn't sleep very well. Obviously nervous for today. Had to be up at 6 o'clock because the traffic into Woolwich Crown Court, which is right next to Belmarsh Prison, is not a particularly good journey if you leave it any later in the day. The guys that looked after me Saturday were there again, you know, again, wonderful people. My friend Mark picked me up at just before 7 a.m. and we went off and travelled to Woolwich Crown Court. When we arrived there was quite a lot of people already there waiting around outside. Obviously, they were, you know, hoping to get in. There were 23 places available in the public gallery. Only 23 places, so it's very difficult for people to secure a place. Thankfully, my name was down on the list that Tommy had left, so that I was guaranteed to get in. Liam Tufts was there. The excellent, wonderful Liam was there to support his friend. I just want to say thank you to Mark for picking me up today. And by the way, Sonia, Mark needs a cup of tea, by the way. Don't forget, if I had a bell, I'd ring it. But there you go. Anyway, we got to court. It was very busy. The security going in, I can only liken to a very strict airport. It was a very intimidating experience. I've never been to court for any criminal acts or activity, or, you know, I've seen it on TV. I've never been to a court like that. And the enormity sinks in really the moment that you get there, because it is a very, very intimidating place for the uninitiated. I can only imagine how some of those people that have been convicted of relatively what you would consider in most instances, or in usual times, minor offences, you can only imagine how they feel. So the enormity really starts to sink in when you walk into the building. You're searched. They go over you with a scanner. It is exactly like you're going through an airport security. We went and waited up in the to get into the public gallery. When we walked into the public gallery, you're behind glass. And then the sheer size of the court is quite unbelievable. There's probably, I don't know, 100, 150 seats for legal representatives, the press, clerks, people that are doing whatever they're doing. I mean, they're all sitting there typing away on their computers. I have no idea what they're doing. And then all of a sudden, Tommy appeared behind glass towards the back of the court, flanked by a couple of security guards. Not that he needed it, but they were still, they're there anyway. That's just part of the job, I suppose. And the proceedings got underway. Now, I must admit, in my naivety and listening to, I took my black book and I wrote some notes down. You're not allowed to use your phones in the court. In my naivety, not knowing the legal system or never having been in trouble with the law or whatever, I didn't understand the actual format of it. But it was almost 10 minutes into the proceedings before I realised that the person speaking was the prosecutor, if that's the right word, the prosecutor. He was putting the case for the judicial system, I don't know, the prosecution, whatever you call it. But it was so, I felt it was so weak and it was so self-explanatory. I thought, this actually sounds quite good. I then realised that this was the prosecution. And I felt that the prosecution was actually fairly weak. I thought they were, weak might be the wrong word. You could almost say sympathetic. Would that be too strong a word to say that I felt that the prosecution was almost, I didn't feel that they were trying to put the boot in. If I'm honest, I'm just reading from my notes now. Other people there may have felt differently, but I didn't feel that they were really going at this to, try and make him look as bad as they possibly could. As I said, for the first 10 minutes, it sounded more like the defense than the prosecution. The prosecution talked about free speech in the negative tone at one stage, which I wasn't impressed with. They spoke about free speech in the negative manner. And I don't believe that you should ever talk about free speech in a negative manner. But I think what I came away from here is that Tommy wasn't in. This is very important that we understand this. We all have to learn. If you don't listen and if you don't learn something new, you never learn something new, if that makes sense. And what I learned today, and the judge and the prosecution, I think, were fairly clear about this from what I saw, is that Tommy wasn't in jail for what he said. Tommy was not sent to jail today for the contents of that film. The judge said that he'd watched the film. I was pleased that he did. I'm glad that he saw the film. I've got a note here saying the judge asked if the film had caused any further damage to the man in question that was in the film. They kind of speculated about that a little bit. But in general, I learned today that, Tommy was not being sent to jail for the contents of the film. He's being sent to jail today for breaking the law, contempt of court. Now, Tommy pleaded guilty to that. I think Tommy was fully aware that he was guilty of contempt of court. And the judge went to great pains to point out to those attending that this was a breach of the law. And unfortunately, whichever way you look at it, breaches of the law cannot be ignored. Otherwise, you end up with anarchy. Now, that's not to say that I agreed with the decision. Of course, you know, I don't believe that Tommy should have been there in the first place. But I think what the judge was kind of intimating at is that this, I can't put words in his mouth. This is what I took for it. But he's not a political prisoner. He's more a morality prisoner. You know, Tommy's been sent to jail today because he made a film that he stood by, and the courts had ruled that he couldn't show it. The film had been shown, and I think Tommy accepts that. And I think whilst I came out of court really deflated, you know, I mean, we was just sitting there hoping upon hope that he would get a suspended sentence or a fine. That wasn't to be, but all things being taken into consideration, the sentence of 18 months with full discount, if you like, for good behaviour, which we know that Tommy will provide. You know, he can be out in under 9 months, which is still a long time, considering it's a very long time, considering that he's going to have to spend the vast majority, if not all of that time, in solitary confinement for his own safety. Now, there's a question in itself there. Why would someone, what is in our jails right now, where a man who is probably, unquestionably, the most popular working class hero this country has ever seen, why would he be in so much trouble or in so much danger in jail? Tommy's not in danger on the streets. Tommy only ever gets love on the streets. So why is he in so much danger when he goes to jail? What does that say about our prisons? What does it say about who's in our prisons? And what does it say about the ability of the prison service to keep the people that are inside these jails in order? So Tommy's going to spend the vast majority of his time in solitary confinement. The good news is, I believe, we are led to believe that he will be granted a minimum of 3 visits a week, which is wonderful because all his family and friends can get to see him, his beloved children, etc., obviously, and everyone else that cares about him. But it's now our time to make sure as well that we stay in contact with Tommy and make sure how much that he knows how much we are still behind him, that we support him, that we're going to miss him, and we will work here to get the right details, because you're going to need some details to ensure that your letters get to Tommy. We're going to make sure that you get to write to Tommy, to send him your best wishes, to pass on your love. We will make sure that can be facilitated so that he can know what you guys are thinking whilst he's in jail. And I think that he will use this time. I really do believe that he will use this time. I hope he does, to plan his future. I think right now, for me, if I was Tommy's dad, which I'm not, obviously, but if I was, I would be saying, son, you know what? You've earned a bit of downtime. And maybe he can use this time in jail as a little bit of downtime. And hopefully he'll be very well looked after. We are doing our absolute best to make sure he's being looked after. Credit to Rupert Lowe this afternoon, a Reform MP. I've got time for Rupert. He's come out and put out an ex-post today talking about, Tommy deserves to be fully protected and treated well in prison. Well done, Rupert. You've just seen Ben, and there will be more support from people who have the balls, who have the honesty, who have the humanity about them to be, and the bravery to come out and say what deserves and should be said. I'm sorry if I'm not quiet on it tonight, guys. I'm absolutely shattered tonight. Going back to what Richard Tice said yesterday, I'll touch on that briefly. I mean, that was his Gerald Ratner moment, wasn't it? if you're old enough to remember the Gerald Ratner moment, that was Richard Tice's Gerald Ratner moment. And the timing couldn't have been worse considering what has happened to Tommy today. And I think that, you know, all the people outside the jail today, outside the court, there was a lot of ladies there in tears. But I think speaking to Tommy before he's gone to court today, listening to what he said on other videos, knowing the man, look, this is a victory for Tommy in some respects because the prison sentence is relatively short. It's not his first rodeo. It's a relatively short sentence. I think he's mentally prepared. At least I hope he's mentally prepared. My biggest hope, my biggest fear is he's looked after from a mental viewpoint to make sure that his mind is kept active and that he's allowed to engage with something. I don't know what. I've never been to jail, thank goodness, but they need to be able to, he needs to make sure that all of his human rights are fully and properly intact and that his mental health is taken care of. But he's in jail today for contempt of court, but I believe he's a morality prisoner. He's in jail today because he cares about our women, about our children. And he wouldn't budge. He wouldn't budge when so many people, so many other people, myself, for instance, I'd budge. I admit it. I'm no Tommy. And there are no other Tommies. He's a unique individual. Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't budge. He wouldn't back down. And he made that film because he believes that he was doing the right thing for the women and children of this country. And tonight he sits alone in jail for that. So I believe that I actually don't believe he's a political prisoner tonight because technically, as Tommy says himself, he knows he did break the law. But he is a morality prisoner. And if Tommy was a hero before today, if he was an icon, if he was a working class hero before today, his profile has just gone through the roof even further. Because anyone that was in that public gallery today, unfortunately you can't film, but when I looked down and saw his face sitting there alone, it was bloody heartbreaking because I know that he's got millions of people behind him and every one of those people's hearts was in that dock with Tommy today. And when he was sent down, he looked up at us. There was one or two members of his family up there with us, and he's obviously his friends. He waved, he blew a kiss, he smiled, and he turned his back. And that's the last time we're going to see him for 9 months, unfortunately. But I know that what Tommy's message tonight will be is not to give in. Don't be scared, but do things right. And we have learned another lesson today from a great man. Great men teach you things. My dad was a great man and he taught me things. Tommy's a great man and he teaches us things. And what he's taught us tonight is his own sacrifice is that we mustn't break the law. We must stay on the right side of the law. And I know that Tommy's message tonight will be to remain calm, remain respectful, and carry on doing things the right way, just like we have been over the last few months. We've managed to bring a maturity to this movement. We've managed to bring a whole new mindset. We've managed to bring a calmness. We've managed to bring peace and people from all different backgrounds in harmony. We have been uniting the kingdom, and we've been doing it in the most magnificent and the most proud way. And that is the way that we must continue, because I know there'll be some people out there that don't agree with me, but please trust me, it is the only way forward. And the pledge, I know we speak about the pledge a lot, and there's a lot of things going to be happening with the pledge soon. The pledge is pivotal in this. If you are upset that Tommy has been sent to jail today, sign the pledge. That is the best thing that you can do tonight for Tommy, is to sign the pledge. And be prepared to write to Tommy when we've got the details where you can contact him and write him and offer him your support. Be prepared for that. If you want to do something else, you can write to your local MP and demand that Tommy is treated fairly. Tell him that you are worried about him. You can write to the BBC. You can email the BBC. You can leave comments anywhere and everywhere you like, demanding Tommy's safety. That's very, very important. Let me just go back to my notes again to a minute. I'll come to the chats in a while, guys. And by the way, all the super chats that I've received today will go towards Tommy's legal fund. Thank you so much for that. I know I had some again earlier that I couldn't read. When I'm on my mobile phone, it's very hard to read the supers. The judge talked about the possibility of giving the defendant the chance to remove the film from social media. I believe there might have been a possible further discount for that, but I don't think that is going to happen. Yeah, I mean, the difference between Tommy and a normal prisoner is, for contempt, a normal prisoner would be sent to a Category D prison. They probably get day release. It'll be an open prison. But because of Tommy's profile and the dangers that he would face, he's in a high security prison this evening for his own safety, which of course is very unfortunate. But we're already planning ahead. I know a lot of people are asking me outside the court, you know, what's going to happen next, Paul? Where are we going? What are we doing? Look, Tommy has a great team behind him. They will make a plan. They will come up with some decisions. There will be some events of some kind, I would imagine. And when that happens, you'll be the first to know. We will not be sitting back, letting Tommy rot in jail with no love or support for the next 9 months. You know that's not going to happen. There's not a person in the world that would receive more support than Tommy right now. So I just wanted everyone to know that, because a lot of people have been asking me, what can we do? Well, what you can do is start to write that letter. Write that letter tonight whilst it's in your heart, and then we'll give you the address to send it to. Let's get thousands and thousands and thousands of letters of support to the prison. Let them see how popular Tommy is. Cy Harris says, I'm a media tart, Paul. I don't know if I've been on any media today, or I hope not. Dave Young, this is the man for the job. He's talking about Ben Habib. Yeah, I agree. Manny Dueck, thank you. Hi, Ben. We need to miss you. Thank you very much, Joe. Appreciate that. Well said, Ben, said Lee Ty. Smog, thank you. Absolute treat having Mr. Ben Habib on tonight, Paul. Ben, your nation needs you even more now, sir. I tell you, everyone loves Ben. He's so popular. Epic 2000, Ben, we need you. Simon says, Ben should be the reform leader. Screw Farage and Tice. Not doubting Thomas, thank you. Become a new member. Dave Young, don't forget, all of the super chats that I received today will be going to Tommy Robinson's legal fund. He's got fees to pay. He's got court fees to pay. I think I heard a figure of £80,000 mentioned. They've got to be covered, and we'll make sure they are covered. Dave Young, thank you. Yes, 80k cost for Tommy. We need to find a way to pay this. Now, let me just tell you this, guys, because I don't want you, I would prefer that you sent any donations directly to the Urban Scoop website, which is helptommy.com. Helptommy.com is the place to send your donations, but not to me. They're better to go straight to Tommy via helptommy.com. But any super chats that do come through here tonight, will be going to Tommy. Less, of course, Google's portion, which they always take. But thank you very much anyway. Cammy, what are your thoughts on the Homeland Party? Don't know anything about them, to be honest with you. In fact, I don't know anything or enough about a lot right now, because over the last couple of weeks we have been so busy. I've not even had a chance to have a good night's sleep. Epic 2000, thank you. See, Paul, I see you're up to 249,000 now. We need you at 2 million plus. What can we do to get you and the others up higher quickly? Thank you, mate. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your friends. We are the voice of the people, and it will grow. We will get there, but people have got to wake up. Kagsy, thank you so much. Ground control. Ben is a great man, even here in Northern Ireland. So honourable. Patsy, it was such a sad day today for Tommy, his family and his close friends. Please try and ensure he is safe. I'm praying for him. Patsy, let me assure you, if you knew the support that he has, if you knew how far people had come today to support him, if you knew how determined we are, thank you, Daniel, to make sure that he is safe and that he is kept safe and that he is as happy as he can possibly be. He couldn't have a more determined group behind him if you wished. I mean, he's got every support that he can possibly get. In fact, he's probably going to get fed up with bloody seeing us by the time we've all been there and visited him and he's received all his letters. And please God, the time will fly for him. Home media server. If Tommy can get a reduced sentence for taking a video off his social media, then he should do it. It's being re-uploaded by others anyway. Truth is out. I just don't think he will. I just don't think he will do it. He's a man that stands by his morals. You know, he's going to stand by it, I believe. And you know, I think even his enemies would have to admire that. You stand by your principles. Matt Doink, thank you. Nothing but love in that crowd. Loved your suit, sir. Fantastic style as always, Paul. Good people stick together. Thank you very much. Tommy is in prison for not agreeing to not expose the truth. Well, this is the thing. You know, this is the way that people will look at it. You know, technically, legally, he did commit contempt of court, and he admitted that. He accepts that. But the reasons that he committed the contempt of court is a completely separate thing altogether. Claire Bear says, can you ring, email, the girls want to do something? Actually, Claire, you've reminded me, thank you very much. I saw a message from you earlier on. Let me just read this out. Where are we? Let me see if I can find it amongst my billions of messages. Or did it come through via email? Let me have a look. Claire, I can't even bloody find it now, would you believe? Was it text? Was it... Claire, if you can text that to me, if you can text me or WhatsApp me the message right now. I did see a message from you earlier on and I was going to read it out, and it's a great message. But unfortunately, due to the amount of emails and calls that I get, I probably had about 1,000 WhatsApps today. So if I haven't answered anyone, please do not be annoyed with me. It's just impossible. Ben Habib's just messaged me, Paul, thank you for having me on. The man is just incredible. No, Ben, thank you for coming on. Thank you very much. I mean, it's just, the guy's just a class act. Claire, if you can WhatsApp me that right now, I would love to read that out. We have a little group. We have a girly group that is growing massively. I said the women in this movement are our strength, and they are proving to be. And Claire is doing an absolutely magnificent job of putting this together. Massive thanks to Claire Bear 21. Superb. And it's great for the girls. Tony Hall, thank you, Tony. Really appreciate that. Vicky, start a Unite the Kingdom party. Ben at the helm. Thankfully, we have a long time. Ali, thank you. Good evening, Paul. Sorry for going off topic. But has Tommy still got to face the charges of terrorism? I believe he has in November. I have a feeling, and I'm hoping, that they will either be dropped or they will be reduced to pretty much meaningless. Hopefully. Vanda, good evening, Vanda. Thank you. Dearest Paul, me and David was out there today. Thank you for being there for him. We all love Tommy. Yep, absolutely, we do. Arrange a Tommy rally when he comes out. I think, the rallies, look, the rallies are good, but and they are great for morale, etc. But we need to think of new things as well. But we need to up our game. We need to up our game and become almost beyond criticism. I think we're going to plan something for Christmas, a Christmas event. If we can plan a wonderful Christian-based Christmas event, let the BBC, let the Sky News come and tell lies about that. We can only keep giving the public things that the media can lie about, and eventually the public will see how they're lying. I haven't had a chance to look at what the media has been saying this evening since I've been home. I don't know what they've had to say about the case this afternoon. Carla says, let's send him letters of support. Accountant have put up details and his prison number. Ex-account have put up. Okay, so if they've already done that, brilliant. I'll have to confirm that. As I say, I've only just walked in from home to home and pretty much come live straight away. There you go. Tommy's email details now on his ex account. Let me just see if I can get that and put it up. Hold on a minute. Let me just see. Let me see if I can find it for you. Hold on a minute. Okay, right. So it's Stephen Yaxley Lennon. The prisoner number is A2084CG. The prison is Belmarsh. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to screenshot that, and I will put that up on screen so that you can write it down. Let me see if I can send that to my Mac. And that is how tonight I would love you guys to spend the rest of your evening, making sure that Tommy gets your letters as soon as possible. Let's inundate the prison with letters of support for Tommy. They're going to have to employ extra staff, I think, to cope with the amount of correspondence that comes in for him. And please don't just do it the once. Either if you want to write to him on a weekly basis, I'm sure he'd be delighted to see that your letters. One thing he won't be able to do is he's not going to be able to reply to all of you, obviously, because he's going to get thousands of letters. But boy, oh boy, would he appreciate it. Let's show him a huge amount of love that he absolutely deserves. There are the details, guys. Let me get rid of that. Let me get rid of that. There you go. So there it is. Stephen Yaxley Lennon, prison number A2084CG, Belmarsh Prison. A2084CG. If you want to write to Tommy, so you can play your part tonight, guys. Rachel, thank you, Rachel. Thanks for this update, Paul, and for bringing Ben on. You are a star. You really are. We're all gutted about Tommy. I'm not sure about that, Rachel. Just doing, what I think every man in the country now, every single man in the country now should be doing something. I appreciate that not everyone wants to speak on camera. Not everyone has the equipment, or maybe, wants to show their face or whatever, but we must all do something. Every man now must stand up. And I was hugely disappointed on Saturday to see all the football stadiums full of men enjoying themselves on a Saturday afternoon when they should have been in London for their kids. Because if they don't take up this political battle now for their children are going to have to do it in the future. Don't leave it to your children to win back our country. Gurdef, thank you very much. Chin up, thank you very much. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get a lot of sleep tonight. Carla, love to all who support our movement, and what a movement it is, what a family that we have. And, you know, tonight is a night for feeling pride, I think, in so many ways. And look, Pink Sombrero, thank you. So proud of you all. Love you, Tommy. I mean, this is how we are, you know. This is we're full of love and respect. Jody, thank you. Don't forget, every super chat that you send through tonight will be going off to Tommy's to help pay Tommy's legal fund. But the best place to do that is via helptommy.com. Richie Boy 66. God bless you, Tommy. Stay strong, bro. And you too, Paul. And Ben, can't afford much, but I want to help. Yeah. Thank you very much, mate. I mean, look, listen, please only ever give what you can afford to. And as I said, helptommy.com is the place to do it right now, this evening, if you can. Gene Baker, thank you. Jacob, Ben looks like the kind of guy with a firm handshake. Good man. Janet Hart, thank you so much, Janet. William V6, thank you. Watched this live this morning, Paul. Thank you for your efforts and support. Regards, Bill from Mitcham. Look, guys, I'm really sorry that actually the coverage wasn't a lot better today, but they will not let you anywhere near a court with a camera. So it's very, very, very difficult to be an observer, to be there as a friend, to be there as a reporter, to be there as a YouTuber. You put all them things together, especially when everyone is trying to talk to you. Your phone is ringing every 5 seconds. It's a very, very difficult act to juggle, you know. Hanky Doodle, Ben and Andrew Bridgen, great combination. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Philip Wilson, thank you. Guys, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do so. Please tell your family. Please tell your friends. I'm hoping that by the end of tomorrow, at least, I will be on 250,000 subscribers. 300,000 views alone today. Canon lenses and cameras. I sent a trophy. I sent a trophy, a hero award to him. Brilliant. Whatever we can do to help make him smile, cheer him up. And Tommy's a lovely lad. He loves to smile. Sand Dancer, thank you very much. Mr. Nobody, thank you so much. Love from Belfast. That will be going to Tommy's legal fund. David, thank you. Thanks for all the hard work, Paul. It's much appreciated. Thank you for watching. Canon lenses and cameras. Why was it so bad? Why was it so bad to make a film cover up? Exactly. You have to question why they wanted the film banned. Linda Day, we need to organise a party like he's never seen next summer when he's out. Linda, stand by. Stand by. Deborah Rabbit, thinking of you, Tommy. Ernie Paulton, sad day for Tommy. We must stick together, and now even more. Absolutely. Jody, thank you so much. Sue Sterling, thank you, Tommy. Thank you for everything you do. We love you with love. Princess Neds, some of us have jobs that don't allow us to be public about our support for Tommy. Tommy, you are a hero. Thank you for everything you have done for all of us. Stay strong. How sad is it that in this country, in this day and age, in 2024, that your job means that you can't show your support for someone that stands for free speech and the safety of our children. Thank you, Andrew. Please forward to Tommy's legal costs. Will do. As I say, guys, the best place to do it is via helptommy.com. Dave Young, thank you. If everyone who attended Saturday just sent £1, as I say, helptommy.com is the place to do that. Mark Aldersley, we needed more politicians like Lee Anderson or someone like Ben Habib to properly represent us. I think that's what we're looking for, isn't it? We're looking for genuine representation. Let me just got to come back. Claire, if you can send me a message, I'll happily read it out. Oh, still seeing off the back end of this bloody flu. The British Patriot, thank you. Tommy is a political prisoner, not a morality one. Take a look at how many cases the judge has proceeded over on behalf of the government. Fair point. Fair point. Heidi Jane, super sticker, thank you. Mark, I'm not going to see it, Mark. Oh, Tommy, he says. You wouldn't want to hear me singing. Claire, thank you so much. Resent. It's an email. Let's have a little look to see if I can get Claire. There we go. I think I've got it. Okay, here we go. Thank you, Claire. Brilliant. So Claire has said, Paul, some of the girls have asked me to email you directly to give you a message of support today. Thank you so much. We know you are there for Tommy, who you know we send our love to and are all praying for, but to you as well for being the friend that you are to him and to all of us. So you know that we are there with you and love you, and tell Tommy the bees are behind him. Signed, the Queen Bees. Now, the Queen Bees are the girls that are getting together. Claire, we are going to have a little chat very soon about how we can expand on this little Queen Bees group that you have put together, because I think it is absolutely amazing. Lara, absolutely. Thank you, Lara. Ross Christ. So perverting the course of justice witnessed in silence. Now 53 million views, witnesses. How can the bribers and those making false statements for cash flow, can they be brought to justice? I'm trying to let me read that again. So the perverting justice. Okay, yeah, I get it now. Yeah, good point. Thank you very much for that. Sorry, I didn't get it first of all. Now I've got it. Sorry about that. Thank you so much. ADHD navigator. Oh, we will. He is our hero and needs our support. Are we still doing the Belmarsh Free Tommy Robinson, every man and woman poll? We've got to speak to his family. We've got to speak to the people close around him that organise these bits and pieces. There are a group of people that will make those decisions, and we will obviously let you know of anything that is going to take place. But rest assured, it's not going to be left to rot and be forgotten. That is never going to happen. Thank you, Paul. I was going to ask for TR email. You can also email a prisoner. I'm not quite sure how you do that, but you can also write in the normal fashion. John Doe, thank you. With the apparent softness of reform, do we have a way forward as a country? Can we preserve our core values with mass migration? We need the strength and positivity found in the MAGA movement. We do. That's what the pledge is for. We are in our infancy. Rome wasn't built in a day, and Britain will not be rebuilt in a day either. Brenda, thank you so much. Garden Room 65, thank you. Welcome one to Falkeston. We loved you. Thank you so much. As I said, all tonight's supers are going to Tommy's legal funds, but you're better off to send it to Tommy directly at helptommy.com. Not a lot, but it all adds up, Paul. Thank you very much, Paul. Really appreciate that. Martin, send Tommy money into his prison's bank account. You can do that, actually, but he won't be able to spend a lot in jail. So you're better off to send it off to helptommy.com, and then his team can disperse it appropriately. Ross Christ again, thank you. Wishing you a peaceful, full night's sleep. Wow, Pete B, thank you so much. Tommy and his team will really appreciate that. It's really going to help. Pete B, a pleasure to help that man, the real pride of Britain. He's the only one keeping us going. Such a dire state we are in. Pete, I mean, look, it's just incredible. And, rest assured, this money will be going directly to Urban Scoop, to the Help Tommy funds. I will add it all up. I will be showing Richard. Richard will have the back end access to my YouTube account. I'll screenshot that and show him what this video has earned, and then we'll get that sent off. So thank you very much. But as I said, the best place to send is to directly to Urban Scoop, helptommy.com. Jenny, thank you. Would send money to him in jail, but they probably take it. Narrowboat Moonshine is a new member. Thank you. Janine, thank you very much. Tommy's legal fund, legal fees will soon get paid off at this rate. Gordon and Julie, thank you very much. Gareth Davis, thank you. Keep up the Val work you're doing, Paul. Thank you very much. Chris has gifted someone a membership. VJ Jokers, hope Richard Tice and Farage feel shame now. Absolutely. And so they should. They should feel utter, deep shame about what was said yesterday. And I have it from very good sources that Reform Today are in turmoil internally over Richard Tice's comments yesterday. I'm not sure that Richard Tice could or even should politically survive what he came out with yesterday. The worst timing that you could imagine as well. The worst timing. M and T Voss. I will always stand with Tommy. Canon lenses and cameras. Is Reform done for after Tice? Will Nigel stand up? I don't think Nigel will stand up. ADHD, how can I join the Queen Bees? Paul, do you know what? We're going to let you know. We're going to grow that Queen Bees movement. And Claire is obviously going to need some help. I've got to speak to Claire. You know, she's a busy woman. But at the moment there's a WhatsApp group. I am going to let Claire, I'm going to speak to Claire and we'll see how it goes. But we can create a very big movement, a very big movement for the girls, movement within the movement, if you like. L King, thank you. Karen, thank you so much. Shelley, thank you so much for that. Joanne, appreciate it. Rosemary Halls, new member, thank you so much. Daniel Richardson, thanks, Paul. All my best to Tommy. Hope this helps me. And the wife came on Saturday for the first time, but not the last. Amazing. Warren Rose, thank you very much. Lorna, appreciate it. Canon lenses and cameras again. Let's hope he can eat more than just tins of tuna. That is something that we are going to be addressing. We're going to be, we want to make sure that Tommy can eat properly. We want to know who's preparing his food and how he's getting it. These are basic human rights that must be adhered to. Yvette D, hi Paul. So sad Tommy was sent down today, but about the pledge, how many have signed so far? I don't have those stats, but it is many, many tens of thousands. Epic 2000, up for an Xmas event. Could we get a documentary in London covering how the managed decline of Christianity by the elite in the UK led us to social problems and disharmony? Keep it moderate and informative. Absolutely, I think that could well be on the cards. Gaza Arsenal, maybe set up a GoFundMe for Tommy's fees, kids. I think, look, Tommy has a very good, Tommy and his team have a very good fundraising platform up and running. As I said, I know I keep saying it, it's helptommy.com. That is the best place to do it. HMS, big love to Tommy, and you guys never surrender. Mac, thank you, Mac. Gifted 5 new memberships. Wonderful. Al Marcello, thank you. Brilliant, amazing. Venice Coyote, sending love from San Francisco. Of course, we've got the US general election or the US presidential election coming up very soon. That is going to be a very, very interesting one. Amy, thank you. Thank you, Paul. Sending love and prayers for Tommy, his kids and his family. He will definitely be writing and continue to donate. Diana Mike, brilliant, amazing. Thank you so much. Susan, super sticker, brilliant. Well, this will, like I said, it all helps. 80,000 quid it's going to cost him today. But, yeah, as I said, as much as I appreciate you sending the money tonight via the super chats, etc., helptommy.com is the place, and every penny of this that you sent will be going over there. Nobbing nuts. Hi, Paul. I'm a 66-year-old Navy veteran, really gutted at what's happening to our beautiful country. I really fear for all our kids' and grandkids' future. Hope this helps towards Tommy's legal fees. Adi Lynn, thank you. Stephen, can we send food, gifts, prison money for Tommy, or will the prison guards confiscate them? Would like to send a small donation to him. As I've said, helptommy.com. I think the best gift that you can send Tommy, knowing Tommy, the best gift you can send him is a letter of support. Tell him why he means so much to you. Tell him the difference that he's made to your life. Lee Sainsbury, praying a hedge of protection around Tommy and favour in the eyes of the guards. God bless Tommy. Das Prussian, why does that appear to be? Why does there appear to be a lack of anger towards Nick Lowles? He is the lowlife who instigated all this. Something needs to be done about him. Well, I think there are people that are certainly looking into the legality of some of the things that he has done in the past. And at the end of the day, look, I'm a great believer in karma. Never too old, thank you. Never thought he would be in this mess. Love your work, Paul. The only sources I trust, mate. You're all legends. Keep it going, my friend. Love the white overcoat on Saturday, Dapper. Thanks, mate. Mark W., good on you, Paul. Thank you. Richie boy, all the best. We love you, Tommy. From that lot, great comment. Sound chip, hi, Paul. Tommy, yourself, and all the crew will go down in history, I'm sure. I can even see a movie being made about you all. You're amazing. Keep it up. Thank you. Well, not me. Tommy maybe, but Nick Core, thank you. Tommy has secured his status as one of the greatest British patriots of all time, a true legend standing up for truth. Unquestionably. Warren Ray, is UKIP the official party of the movement now? I would say my honest answer to that right now, politically, I'm homeless again. For the moment. Just me personally. I can't tell you what to do, who to support, who not to support. It's not my business. It's not my place to tell you who to vote for or who you should support. You're all grown-ups. I'm politically homeless at the moment. And I'll tell you why I'm politically homeless at the moment, because I want to support a party that has a genuine, realistic chance of winning the next election, getting rid of this rotten Labour government and taking back power for the British people. Do I believe that UKIP is capable of doing that right now? No. Do I believe that Reform UK is capable of doing that right now? No, definitely not. Not after yesterday. Could I vote Conservative? No. Could never trust them ever again. I'm obviously never going to vote Labour or Lib Dem or for the Green Party. So politically, right now, I'm homeless, but that will change. Thank you, Lisa. Speaky Speak would love to become a Queen Bee. That is definitely going to be possible. June Slater's latest vid is interesting. Grey, I'll catch up with that. That sounds like it's going to be worth a watch. Marie, I hope Tommy sleeps well tonight. At least the court case is over. Yeah, I think the fear is often, the journey is often better or worse than the arrival. At least he knows what he's facing now. I think he's been in a, thank you, Fraggle. I think Tommy, in fact, I know he's been in a very dark, deep place over the last few weeks. In fact, it's been concerning for us, very concerning and very worrying, because we obviously all care about him as a human being very deeply. Please God, at least he's safe tonight. And that is the main thing. And he can settle in his mind. He's a very, very strong character. You know that. Diane, please see, pass on for Tommy, 1 in a trillion. Absolutely. Thank you, JK, 1986. Tyson Farage are just career politicians paid for to be the opposite voice. They are on the gravy train now and left their supporters at the first station. I agree. No more supers now, guys, because I'm going to be wrapping this up very shortly. 7,123 people watching. Really appreciate that. Sharon's Idol's dexterity. Beware of scammers pretending to collect for Tommy. Exactly. Be very wary of that. That's a very good point, Sharon. Thank you so much for pointing it out. Be very careful about anyone asking for money for Tommy or for anything for that matter. Helptommy.com is the official place to donate to his fund. Mandy, thank you. Paul sent money earlier for Tommy. This is extra. We will be writing. Please leave the address for him. Claire, Queen Bee is amazing, plus the rest of the bees. Thank you for everything you do, Paul. Mandy, it's an absolute honour and a pleasure. Let me put up that address for our friend again once more. If you want to write to Tommy, that is the place to do it. Let's make sure that his days are kept very, very busy indeed. Jack Wobbly, thank you for all you do. Love to Tommy. Big thank you to stewards and security who got me through the march and the disabled section on Saturday. Amazing. Ray Cook, thank you. Tommy's done more to unite our nation than anyone has for decades. Absolutely. And I love that badge that you've got there. We should share that, and we should all make that our profile picture, shouldn't we? Canon lenses and cameras. Why court not try to imprison him for 4 years? Do you know something? Thank you, Matthew. I had the impression, I really did. I don't think the judge actually wanted to send him to jail. I mean, that was my impression. I feel like he had to. And to some degree, although he spoke about a sentence that was toward the higher end of the tariff, when you break it down, 9 months with the possibility of a bit off of that actually was nowhere near as worse as a lot of people had feared. It could have been a lot worse. Kenny Milson, thank you, Kenny. Wow, that was the shortest time I've supported any political party. Onward, Christian soldiers. Reform imploded yesterday. Mark Baker, Farage is a total letdown. Then it's their fault. It's their fault. Paul G, Nick Lowles is the anagram, man, vile and evil. I think that is the end of the super chats. Thank you so much. No more tonight, guys. Thank you. Another 3,000 messages in the regular chats. I'd love to read them all out, but obviously, unfortunately, that would be impossible. So a very long day, a very disappointing day, but there are positives. The positives are Tommy is safe. He's in a safe place. He will be looked after. We are assured of that. We expect this government, the state, the prison services to make sure and ensure his continued and guaranteed safety. No excuses, no mistakes, no accidents, no problems, no bad food. We expect him to be treated with the utmost respect to make his time pass as quickly as possible. And we will be doing our best to ensure that happens. We really, really will. Mystic Turtles, thank you, Paul. Just joined UKIP. Now we need Ben to lead. Free Tommy now. Thank you. Fat Cat. Tommy should be allowed to swap his 9 months in prison for 9 weeks sat in a bath of Heinz beans. Right, guys, thank you. No more supers now because I'm going to miss them. Thank you so much for joining me today. I think this is the 4th live stream. I don't know how you do it. Sitting there listening to me all day must drive you absolutely mad, but I can only do my best, try and deliver you what I can do. I'm not the most polished journalist in the world, but you know it comes from the heart, right? That's the thing. You know it comes from the heart. I want to thank everyone today that's helped me get to the court, get back safely from the court, and all the usual bits and bobs. I want to thank you, everyone, for joining me tonight. Make sure you write to Tommy, and we are blessed to have him as our friend. And say a little prayer for him tonight, because I know he says a little prayer for you guys every night. And we are going to make sure that he's looked after. Thank you, everyone. And I'll see you all again soon.